Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing excellent, man. Thanks for taking the call and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. You guys should be in the mode of celebrating because I mean this song right here is a summertime song. Dude, man, have you cranked it up outside yet?
Summertime song, I like that. That's awesome.
I mean,
Love it.
this is the kind of stuff that when you're out on the deck and you're listening to great music, crank it up, man. I want to hear that one again. Let's do it again.
I like your vibe. I like the attitude. Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, an excellent idea.
Does a song start off like that for you when you sit down or you get that first initial vibe of putting it together?
No, I think it all really kind of came together as we rehearsed it. Originally, that song, believe it or not, Arrow, was written on acoustic.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was something that I had in my back pocket for a handful of years, and literally about 3.5 weeks before the recording of the album, I decided to reinvent it a bit, introduce it to the band, and then Mike Onetto, our bassist, just introduced that menacing bass line, and Joey Cloutier came up with that phenomenal drum line to accompany it. So it's pretty organic how it happened. It was awesome.
See, I wish listeners could really go through the experience of crafting a song because they get it and they just digest it in that moment, but they don't realize what it takes to create those layers.
You're right. Yeah, it's definitely a process where sometimes it happens beautifully and organically, like I mentioned, but most of the time it's like building a house, which is painful.
So being compared to Velvet Revolver, my God, that right in itself, that's what you hang up on the wall and say, okay, there's our inspiration for the day. We're going to become better than them.
Wow. I don't know about that. That's an all-star cast right there, man. I mean, I appreciate, the compliment from I think it was Chris Akin who said that, but it's just wow. I mean, that's some serious company right there. We just want to strive just to do our own thing and make sure that what it is that we put out there we feel really good about and it resonates with the crowd.
Well, you're stepping into the right moment because we are craving that great rock sound right now because even new rock radio stations, they continue to play the Imagine Dragons. I understand they're great, the Imagine Dragons, but the thing is we need some great rock to go with it.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, was it? Everybody's just been saying rock is dead for how long?
Yeah.
And I beg to differ. So it's alive and well. There's a ton of great rock out there, especially, in my neck of the woods in the Bay Area. You have bands like Devil in California, State Line Empire, that are making some serious waves. And they're all, original recording rock artists that have been around actually for a long time. They've been doing it. Zed is another one. Drawing Heaven. There's some really good rock bands in the Bay Area that people should be taking note of.
Yeah, but isn't it kind of fun though to be a little bit underground right now, so that this way it doesn't become that big thing like it did in the 90s, and then all of a sudden everybody goes, "Oh my God, I'm getting tired of listening to it."
As you know, everything has phases, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody had a flannel in the late 80s and 90s, right? And now flannels are like, I think they're a big hit nowadays, right? But I think, rock it's just standing the test of time. And so, yeah, I think it's just going to have its ebb and flows like anything else. But is it going to be the flavor of the next couple of years? So be it. I honestly, I really don't pay attention to that. I just think what's most important is just to make sure to be producing some great music, getting it out there into the ears for everybody to hear, and just make sure that it's quality and keep carrying the torch forward, right? So. But it's all you could do.
I was talking with Steve Turner this morning. He was from Mudhoney. He's one of the founding fathers of grunge music. And he just told me that he says, all we wanted to do was just get together and play great punk. And he says something came out of it. Don't you think that the same thing is going to happen? You guys love the music so much that something will come out of it?
Yeah, no, it's interesting you say that. As long as we just pay attention to what we're doing ourselves and just put blinders on and not worry about what everybody else is doing and produce music that's like, we don't care if this is like, something that's fitting the mold for right now. We just want to do something that feels good to us.
Yeah.
It's satisfying our needs. It feels authentic. It feels organic. It reflects who we are. Then if we're true to ourselves, then we know we're going to put true and honest music out there that's going to resonate with everybody. And you know what? From that, good things will come, and we're starting to see that. I mean, I think there's proof of that now. So you're absolutely right.
And that transfers right into the clubs too. And then once those fans start buying into it and start getting the merch, and people are going, "Where'd you get that? Whoa, tell me about that, man." You're on your way.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of hard work, as you know. I mean, we just did a gig Sunday night in San Francisco at DNA Lounge. We opened up for Spread Eagle, and it was a Sunday night. It's a tough crowd, but people who were there, they're just like, "Holy shit, who are you guys? This is awesome. We love this stuff," and your set list is done. We want more. So you just got to put in the heavy lifting and just grassroots, baby.
I got to tell you, part of the pleasure of Blind and Broken is the fact that you guys not only keep it rocking, but it's also very simple to listen to. In other words, I love the way that I can check out every single band instrument that's being played, and it's not over compressed.
Right. So you got to give kudos to the producer and engineer, Mr. Tim Narducci, or as we affectionately call him, Golden Ears Narducci. He's an industry vet. He's a phenomenal singer and songwriter in his own, with bands in the past like Spiral Arms, and he's currently in one called The Watchers, which are phenomenal. Another phenomenal Bay Area band. You let go and let him mold and shape you in a way to where just remove yourself from the song and put it in his hands and just let him do the voodoo that he wants to do. So Tim's fingerprints are all over that album, and it's a prime example right there with Blind and Broken with what you described.
How did you deal with that? Because I mean, I was a little roughed up when my engineer sat down with me and said, "Look," he says, "I understand you're in love with harmonies, but no, we're not going to do that this time. You've got to give it to me and let me do my own thing."
Right. It's funny. I was just talking to our bassist about this on the way home from the gig the other night. Is one of the most difficult things you have to do, specifically if you've been having a song in your back pocket for a long time, like I just mentioned with Blind and Broken, and having to divorce yourself from, let's say, a melody that you do a certain way you've sung it for a long time. It's just not lending itself to the song in a way to where it's like, it's just not fitting right. It needs to be in a different space, and letting go is incredibly challenging and really difficult. It's not always achieved. Let's just put it that way. So you win some, you lose some, but on Blind and Broken, we definitely were able to do that. So
in your lyric books, were you pretty much like me, that when you would switch out lyrics, you would just scratch it out? Because I like going back several years later and going, damn, that's right. I used that word in there instead of this one. Oh my God. I mean, it has a story all its own.
Yeah, so when I do lyrics, it's another painstaking process. I'll agonize over like one sentence for like a week.
Yep.
And like not only Blind and Broken, but pretty much all of our songs, lyrically wise, there's a story being told, and it's always coming from a deep place of experience from me. Maybe it's something I've gone through, or maybe it's a certain personal view or reflection of sorts. But I want to be able to write it in a way where, it's not on the nose. It's totally obvious to the listener. I'm never, ever going to write a song that says, "Hey, baby, I love you," type of thing. Yeah. But going to the catalog and what you can pull out of your quiver word-wise, it's challenging. I do fret over, like, oh, I said this word here or there, even as so much to the songs and how they relate on the album overall. So like there might be a song earlier on the album where I'm using this certain type of word or phrasing. I'm trying not to repeat that later in the album on a different song. And what I do is as I pin things down, words or sentences that just I like but aren't working.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing of today's technology. I just cut and paste and I put it on a doc that says lyrics for later. And I'll draw upon them for another song and maybe I'm in somewhere else.
How do you deal with the ownership of a song? And I'll explain that. Donny Osmond last week had to explain why he doesn't do Puppy Love anymore. And a fan actually went up to him and said, "It's not your song, it's my song. When you stepped into my life with that song, it became mine." How do you feel about moments like that?
Oh my gosh. I wish I actually had that moment. I haven't gotten to experience that yet, but I tell you what, I have had people come up and just say, you know, that song really, it means something to me. And as a matter of fact, recently, our drummer, his wife, just shared with us that one of the songs on the album that's coming out, a song called "Lost in the View," it is literally, she was telling us, she was saying it's like her all-time favorite song. Wow. And she said if she could marry the song, these were her words. She goes, "If I can marry the song, I would divorce my husband and marry that song." and mind you, her husband's the drummer of our band, and he's sitting there listening to all this. But I mean, when a song has that sort of impact on somebody, I mean, you know, you've done something right. And that's the overarching goal, right? You want to be able to write music where it leaves a timestamp or a certain era of time within someone's life, and it resonates to them, and it means, you know, it's deeply personal. So to hear that it's very, very rewarding. And it's like, okay, you did your job.
Speaking of a good job, you guys did an amazing job on that video. You took that thing seriously. The makeup, the lay of the land. I mean, this is a serious video.
Yeah. That, believe it or not, that took 2 days to shoot, and a heck of a lot of convincing for the script to be taken on by the rest of the band members. The water scenes were incredibly challenging. We knew they were going to be difficult, but how difficult, we were not really prepared for. The band, you know, having to play instruments which want to pull them up to the surface. Mm-hmm. We were putting ankle weights on them to keep down, but then they're feeling like they're drowning. You know, so having a drowning drummer or guitarist is never a good thing, right? So it was much more difficult, but we were able to pull it off. And with obviously the producer director, the Bay Area phenom known as Mike Sloat, he spent the whole day in the water, and it was an incredible ask. And the leading lady, Avery Hawthorne, she was incredible. Yeah. I mean, she was part mermaid. Those scenes of her sitting in the chair underwater, it's like timeless. It's like time stood still. I don't know how she pulled that off, but she did an amazing job. So it was the video depicts the whole story. Yeah. And it's a short film. So I'm really glad you recognize that, because it was a huge body of work, and we strive to create videos that it not only captures the essence of the song, but something where it really gives the band like an identity. It's like, wow, this band is producing videos that unlike other artists out there right now, you know? Oh yeah, because I mean, right away, it reminds me of the great classic videos we used to all tune into on MTV. But now, I mean, where we get videos is YouTube. But you know, but until you bump into yours, you're going, holy crap! That other one that those other guys were doing, that sucked compared to this. No, it's tough. It's I mean, to come up with the concept and, you know, write out the script and the shot list, it's a ton of work, as you know, and it's a whole different level, right? So now you're taking the audio element of the song into a visual element, and how do you do that? I mean, you could totally spin the song on its head and give it the wrong depiction if your video is wrong. Wow. So what kind of merchandise you guys got going on, and where can listeners get that and follow the band? So right now we just got a bunch of merch coming in. It's actually, we have a show, our album release event is on July 8th at the Tabard Theater in downtown San Jose. So anybody listening and is in the Bay Area, come on out to the Tabard Theater on July 8th. And you can get merch there. We're going to print out some CDs, because people ask us for them, and it's like, really, you want a CD? So we're like, okay, we'll do that. But you go check us out on corvuslore.com, and all the other usual social outlets, those suspects, the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all that. You can check us out there as well. Hey, CDs are in. My grandson, who is 17, wants all of my CDs. I mean, they're so in right now. Yeah, well, that and vinyl, right? Yeah, absolutely. See, I'm the vinyl freak. I mean, I've got to have everything vinyl, because I love the sound of that needle touching that black sheet of whatever it is. Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, just going to having a tangible piece or an element in your hand, I mean, it just, to me, it's the whole package, right? Yeah. It's exciting. There you go. There's your next song, the inspiration of it all, where it's something you can physically touch. Right. There we go. And it's all going to be about vinyl. Dude, you got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you. I really appreciate it, Arrow. Thank you so much for taking the time and giving me the opportunity to connect with you and also your audience. So great. Thank you so much, sir.
You be brilliant today, okay?
I'll do my best, but it sounds like you're already halfway there, my friend. So thank you so much, man.
All right, bye.